Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 69 based on novel. So let's start. At this time, Li Ji's face also became extremely ugly, because from Li Ji's perception, the fiery red dragon was not condensed from energy, but actually existed. Then there is only one possibility. Kai Ling. Many powerful weapons will have some powerful artifact spirits. The existence of the tool spirit greatly deepens the power of the weapon, and the tool spirit can also be cultivated, but it is just like living in the weapon, helping the master to deal with the enemy. There is always the power obtained by the tool spirit and without the weapon spirit. The power is different. For example, a powerhouse in the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, relying on powerful weapons, has the power to fight against the powerhouse of the perfect level of the 4-star Do Emperor, but if a person in the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor has a weapon with the existence of an artifact spirit, even a 5-star Do D powerhouse should think twice before acting. After all, the power of artifact spirits is no trivial matter. A weapon with an artifact is definitely very powerful and alive. The artifact and the weapon complement each other. In addition to the control used, the strength will also increase by leaps and bounds, while the weapon without the artifact seems to be dead. To be able to exert some basic power, this is the difference between having an artifact spirit and not having an artifact spirit. Kai Ling. What is that? Mu Yingying asked like a curious baby. The so-called Kai spirit is a special existence attached to the weapon. Under the control of the weapon owner, it can volatilize more powerful power, and at the same time, it is also more perfect to volatilize the usefulness of a weapon. It is also quite difficult to obtain Kai spirits. First of all, not to mention that there are very few creatures in the world that can become artifact spirits. Even if there are, very few would be willing to become Kai spirits. After all, the Kai Ling can only let its Kai Ling choose by itself, and cannot impose interference, so whether it is a Kai Ling or any other artifact spirit, it is quite rare. However, once a weapon has an artifact, its combat power will also increase exponentially, and anyone who can pass the artifact will undoubtedly be recognized by the artifact and become an inseparable partner. Xiao Yi also opened his mouth. Oh. Mu Yingying also agreed slightly, and then watched the battle on the field. Bang bang bang. Li Ji also realized that something was wrong, and just wanted to stop, but found that there seemed to be something wrong with the halberd in his hand. After the fiery red dragon broke through the energy of the silver light above its halberd, it seemed like it was still unfinished, and then stared straight at the silver light Do Chi on Li Ji's body. Li Ji looked at the huge pupils of the fiery red dragon, and found that the eyes were full of greed. At the moment, he also realized that something was wrong. He just wanted to take back his halberd, but unexpectedly, an accident happened suddenly. Shabu. The fiery red dragon actually followed the halberd in his hand, trying to enter his body and devour his own fighting chi to replenish himself. Li Ji is indeed a veteran of fighting ghosts outside all year round. Seeing this scene, she also resolutely gave up the halberd in her hand, and then concentrated on dealing with the fiery red dragon. Damn beast, see where you're going. Li Ji was also slightly angry, and then his breath increased to the extreme, urging the huge fighting spirit in his body, and attacked Long Yi viciously. At this time, Long Yi was only about a few feet in size, and the reduction in size undoubtedly limited Long Yi's strength. Of course, Long Yi was unmoved in the face of Li Ji's attack. How do you say that you are also a leader in the Dragon Clan? If you are defeated by such a human hair-headed boy in the early stage of the 5-star Do Emperor, where will you put your face? Don't worry about Xiao Yan, let me deal with him. Just when Xiao Yan wanted to use other means, Long Yi's voice appeared. Okay, then be careful. Xiao Yan also laughed. Apparently since Long Yi became his own ruler, he hadn't given him a good fight. Dragons are naturally aggressive, so Long Yi has been suffocated for a long time. At this time, Long Yi's volume was shrinking, and then he was entrenched on Li Ji's right arm. Following Li Ji's abandonment of the halberd, Xiao Yang also withdrew the ancient eternal fire ruler in his hand, and then the halberd also fell to the ground, watching the rather comical battle in front of him. Hey! I didn't expect Brother Li to be so embarrassed by an artifact. It seems that Brother Li's strength in the early stage of the 5-star Do D is only like this. I already said why I chose him as the leader. He's arrogant and arrogant. Beside Li Ji, the constant intermittent voice also appeared. Shut up. Li Ji was extremely angry when she heard this. But Li Ji's heart is bitter. Originally thought that Xiao Yang's strength is even in the middle stage of the 4-star Do Di. Since he can join the Fenxiang Pavilion, he must have something special. Li Ji also tried his best to deal with it carefully, but he did not expect that Xiao Yang's fighting spirit was extremely pure and honest. If Dang Dang is more honest than Do Qi, even his strength in the early stage of Li Ji's 5-star Do Di can't compare to Xiao Yang. Immediately afterwards, Li Ji decided to test Xiao Yang's reality first, and it was easy to deal with it, but he could not think of the spirit of the ruler who forced out the ancient ruler of Henghuaheng in Xiao Yang's hands. The ruler spirit is also a kind of artifact spirit. Those who use a ruler as a weapon, among them, the spirit of the tool is called the spirit of the ruler. Moreover, the preciousness of this Kai spirit, even if you look at the burning incense pavilion, the number of people who have it is very small. It is unexpected that they will meet in the hands of a new disciple. Damn Xiao Yang, if I can force me to use this trick, it can be regarded as looking down on you. Li Ji also said solemnly. As Li Ji's voice fell, Long Yi in the arm also felt a majestic momentum emanating from Li Ji. Immediately afterwards, Li Ji snorted coldly, and the halberd that had just landed on the ground just returned to his hand. The halberd had just returned to Li Ji, and all the terrifying fighting spirit of Li Ji was injected into it, which was obviously a desperate attempt. Boom boom boom. A terrifying wave emerged from Li Ji's body, and then Long Yi also realized that something was wrong so he withdrew from Li Ji's arm and floated above Xiao Yang's head. Such fluctuations. It's an immortal level fighting skill. I don't know who said it, and then a monstrous commotion broke out in the hall at this time. It seems that this guy is being rushed. Xiao Yang also said slowly. Can you handle it? Xiao Yang also asked. Not worth mentioning. Long Yi also said slowly, and then with the help of Xiao Yang's body, which was dominated by milky white flames, with 23 colors of flames, a terrifying attack was slowly brewing in his dragon mouth. Humph! Just Kai Ling, how dare you be presumptuous in front of me? Pick me up. The battle halberd splits the mountain claws. Li Ji finished speaking, and the fighting halberd in the palm of the hand also burst into a bright silver light, and then the figure moved and smashed fiercely at the Kai Ling Long Yi floating above Xiao Yang. The terrifying halberd with a monstrous silver light roared towards Long Yi. Facing Li Ji's attack, Long Yi also smiled slowly, and then his tightly closed eyes suddenly opened. At the mouth of the dragon, there was a ball of terrifying flames containing 23 colors, and they smashed viciously towards Li Ji's attack. At this time, Mu Shuzi frowned slightly, and then with a wave, a terrifying Do Qi light shield enveloped the power of the two. After all, if such terrifying energy exploded here, then the hall would surely be said to be wiped out. At this time, the pupils of everyone in the hall shrank tightly in unison, and then held their breath, watching the two forces in the field collide with understanding. Hey, our brother Li's halberd and mountain claws are outstanding even in immortal level fighting skills. I heard that brother Li once used this fighting skill to kill a ghost in the ghost world that is comparable to a human 5-star fighting emperor. Looking at this, Xiao Yang looks like a swollen face and looks like a fat man. Although the artifact above the heavy ruler is also extraordinary, it will definitely not be Li Ji's opponent. It seems that God blesses us. Some of the named disciples around Li Ji also said slowly. Obviously, they did not find the halberd and fireball in the confrontation, so they also spoke out. Big brother is still big brother. Seeing this, Xiao Yi also smiled slowly. The power in the fireball is exactly the same as his own power, so he naturally understands the horror in it. After all, Long Yi was attached to the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng and became Xiao Yang's unique ruler, and he could also use Xiao Yang's power to help Xiao Yang resist the enemy. The artifact spirit on Xiao Yang's body is really not simple. It has reached the point where he can use human power to carry out an independent attack. Artifact spirits of this level are quite rare even in these Xiansan days. This little guy is really extraordinary. It's no wonder that he received unanimous praise from Chang Yu's high-handed and low-handed guy. Mu Shuzi also said slowly. And this artifact spirit is also quite interesting. Obviously, the strength of the peak must be extremely terrifying. Now that the strength is damaged, this little guy can actually conquer this level of artifact spirit. I said earlier that there is no background behind it, then I really don't believe it. Mu Shuzi also said in his heart. On one side is the terrifying fighting technique used by Li Jiruo, one of the 3 leaders of the named disciples, and on the other side is the terrifying flame ball condensed by Xiao Yang's Kai Ling. Boom boom boom. The flame glowing in 23 colors silently attacked Li Ji's halberd and split mounting claws with a monstrous weather. Once the two collided, it was like a spark that ignited, bursting with dazzling light. In the hall, there is a rather strange confrontation. On one side was Li Ji's attack, controlling the halberd in his hand to attack viciously on the fireball containing 23 colors. The terrifying silver battle chi seemed to slash the fireball out, but no matter how much Li Ji increased his strength, the silver halberd that had already resisted the fireball could not enter the fireball. The fireball was a circular shape. Surrounded by flames, he didn't move at all, as if he was dismissive of Li Ji's attack. Damn, this fireball is really weird. It's as if my power has always been suppressed and swallowed up. Li Ji also discovered the strangeness of the fireball, and immediately pondered. In normal times, no matter who suffered such a terrifying attack as him, he would end up either seriously injured or dead on the spot. Humph! It's time to end. Long Yi also snorted coldly, and then an angry dragon roar echoed in the hall. Not good. Hearing Long Yi's cold snort, Li Ji also subconsciously found something, and then stared at the halberd with silver light in his hand. After Long Yi snorted coldly, the fireball that was originally stuck with the halberd suddenly burst into a monstrous light, and then broke through Li Ji's offensive in one fell swoop, and rushed towards Li Ji's body. Li Ji also discovered this terrifying power, and immediately wanted to mobilize the vindictive energy of his entire body for defense, but he did not expect that the speed of the fireball was extremely fast, and the next moment it attacked Li Ji's body. Boom boom boom. The terrifying flames attacked Li Ji viciously. Even Li Ji's strength in the early stage of the 5-star Do Di couldn't withstand such a terrifying attack. Hey! Li was also, in order to not easily admit defeat, hard-working, trying to use the powerful body of 5-star power to resist this horror attack. However, the fireball containing the power of 23 colors of different fires, even if its power is not comparable to Xiao Yang's Lotus of Annihilation, its destructive power is not trivial. Shabu shabu. Long Yi also grinned happily, then looked at Xiao Yang with a face that was praised by Xiao Yang in his attempt to win. If you don't put out the flames, do you want to cause death? Xiao Yang was also helpless and said viciously to Long Yi that anyone with a discerning eye could see that some of Xiao Yang's voice was just pride. It is pride. One of the 3 leaders of this named disciple is so vulnerable under Xiao Yang's artifact spirit, then Xiao Yang's own strength is also terrifyingly powerful. Yeah. Long Yi also agreed, and then Long Yi opened his mouth slightly and exhaled at Li Ji, and then all the flames on Li Ji's body returned to Long Yi. Cough, cough. Li Ji also coughed violently, and then her pupils shrunk tightly just now, but just as she was about to say something, her eyes darkened and she fell instantly. Brother Li. The people around him also hurriedly surrounded him. If there was anything wrong with Brother Li, it would be hopeless for them to join the burning incense pavilion. This kid. Mu Shuzi also walked over in a hurry, then held Li Ji's arm, feeling the injury in his body. He's fine, but he fell down temporarily because of lack of vindictiveness. After a while, he'll be fine. Mu Shuzi also said slowly. At the same time, the hundreds of people in the hall also shrank their pupils and stared at Xiao Yang viciously. The man with the heavy ruler on his back and the artifact spirit floating above his head are also extremely arrogant, but they are also helpless. Whoever made them lose their strength, now they can only swallow their anger when they are beaten. Come back, you did a good job. Xiao Yang also didn't care about Li Ji's life or death. After all, person who pretended to be lofty and tried to challenge their disciples of burning incense pavilion didn't need mercy. And Xiao Yan finally let go of Li Ji's hand, or if he didn't let Long Yi stop in time, Li Ji's skin is going to peel off if he doesn't die. The horror of the power of different fire is not something that mere fighting chi can defend against. Fortunately not to be humiliated. Long Yi also returned to the ancient ruler of Yihuahang, and then Xiao Yang carried the ancient ruler of Yihuahang on his back, walked to Mu Yingying and the others, and said slowly, "Xiao Yang, you are really amazing. Originally, I thought it would take a lot of time to solve this Li Ji, but I didn't expect." Mu Feng also laughed, obviously happy for Xiao Yang's victory. "Big brother, are you alright?" Xiao Yi also asked. Just now, Long Yi took advantage of Xiao Yang's power, and he was also concerned about it. "It's fine." Xiao Yang also laughed. "It seems that these named disciples hold a grudge against you, so you have to be careful." Green Flute also said slightly, "I can't tell you that you are quite powerful." Mu Yingying also said, a silver bell-like voice and attractive figure and appearance also attracted the attention of many named disciples. Xiao Yang naturally ignored Mu Yingying's words, and then looked at the other people in the hall slightly. At this time, the other people in the hall all looked at Xiao Yang with the same eyes, and their malicious eyes seemed to be able to eat Xiao Yang raw. This Li Ji is the difference between the real disciples of the Fenxiang Pavilion and the named disciples. If you don't agree, then let's go together. Xiao Yang also said casually. If you don't agree, then let's go together. Xiao Yang's flat voice was next to the ears of hundreds of named disciples WWWLA with Macron. These short sentences sounded like a dull thunder in the hearts of everyone. Too arrogant. Brother Zilian and Brother Li Zi, we must teach them a lesson. Some named disciples were also extremely angry at Xiao Yang's provocation. This brother, this is too much, isn't it? However, our named disciples are also members of the Fenxiang Pavilion. Are you afraid of losing the face of the Fenxiang Pavilion? A man dressed in elegance also said. This person is Brother Nazilian. He is also a powerhouse in the early stage of the 5-star Do Di. He is also one of the 3 leaders among the 128 named disciples. Although the 3 of them are the strength of the 5-star Do Di in the early stage, there are also strong and weak points. Li Ji just now ranked 3rd, Zi Lian ranked 2nd, and Li Zi ranked 1st. Anyone who doesn't agree can join us, save our time. Xiao Yang also ignored Na Zilian's words, and said to all the named disciples in front of him. At the same time, a terrifying wave was slowly emitted from the Nigong pill in Xiao Yang's body, and a scroll of formations was quietly formed. Looking closely at the core inscriptions on the scroll of formation, there were more than 5,000 formations. Such a terrifying power would not be a problem even for a 5-star Do Emperor. Xiao Yang, you should rest for a while, then let us come. Mu Yingying also slightly parted her lips, and then said to Xiao Yang. At this time, the 5 of them are already brothers and sisters from the same sect, so they also need to help each other. Li Ji fell into a coma for a short time, and was carried out by the named disciples to cultivate. At this point, Li Ji, who was in the early stage of the 5-star Do Di, also lost his fighting ability. It's just that these named disciples never imagined that this seemingly gentle Xiao Yang's battle would be so terrifying. And the battle just now was obviously just a battle between Xiao Yang's heavy ruler and Li Ji. Even so, Li Ji was still defeated. If this Xiao Yang really fights, then his strength. These named disciples were also terrified. What a panic! A deafening voice also slowly appeared in the hall. Looking around, Mu Yingying also found that the person who spoke was a huge man who had been among the named disciples. There was an invisible wave on the man's body. Although it was weak, Mu Yingying could still feel it. That is murderous. An aura that can only be produced by fighting the enemy all year round. This should be the strongest Li Zi among these named disciples. Xiao Yang also said solemnly, and then said to Mu Yingying. Obviously, this Li Ziguang is not at the same level as Li Ji just now in terms of breath. If Li Ji just now was in the early stage of the 5-star Do Di, So Li Zi at this time is at the peak of the early stage of the 5-star Do Emperor, and he is only one step away from the middle stage of the 5-star Do Emperor. And Li Zi's terrifying killing intent can't be faked. This Li Zi must also be a strong man who walks on the tip of the knife all the year round. Only a strong man of this level can be called a real strong man. How is it? Are you sure? Mu Feng also asked. Let me come, this Li Zi's power is terrifying, and according to my perception, this is a powerful person. If he fights, it will be quite troublesome. Xiao Yan also stared at Li Zi and said. Xiao Yan felt a different kind of aura from Li Zi's body. It was an aura of equal proportions. It seems that this will be a fierce battle. Xiao Yan also smiled, and then slowly walked into the arena. Let's get someone else. Just now you fought against Li Ji, and it also consumed a lot of fighting spirit. Li Zi, convince people by force, and I don't want to take advantage of you, so as not to fall into trouble when I get time. Li Zi also said in a coercive voice. This doesn't bother you anymore. Xiao Yang said in a calm manner. He had just fought against Li Ji, and it was basically Long Yi who was fighting, so he consumed very little Do Qi in his body. Come on, you can rest and recover your fighting spirit. Mu Yingying also said, and then slowly stepped forward. Need not. It's still me. Xiao Yang just wanted to reject Mu Yingying's kindness, but his eyes met Mu Yingying's, and he saw the look in Mu Yingying's beautiful eyes. He was concerned and worried. But many are firm. If we lose, we will come down, we are a team. Xiao Yang also returned to the back, and when he passed by Mu Yingying, he said in a voice that only Mu Yingying heard. Yeah. Mu Yingying also responded to Xiao Yang softly, and then my Mu also stared at Li Zi in front of her. Hey, send such a girl up. I don't think I want to use the beauty trick. Our boss doesn't eat this set. But I have to say that this woman's body and appearance are quite good, if. The named disciples also spoke up when they saw Mu Yingying walking forward, but their eyes became hot, and they all agreed. He stared at Mu Yingying, and some evil thoughts also occurred in his heart. Come on, I don't fight women, because this is an insult to me. Li Zi also frowned, then looked at Mu Yingying and said, there was a lot of anger in her voice. Are the 5 people in the burning incense pavilion looking down on themselves, and to send a little girl to fight with them, it is too disrespectful to others. Humph. Who said that women are inferior to men? Is it because you are afraid? Mu Yingying also snorted coldly, then stared at Li Zidao tilde afraid. That's not true, I just don't want to kill the flowers. Li Zi also spoke slowly, obviously there seemed to be absolute confidence in his voice. Come on then. Mu Yingying also opened her lips slightly, and then said slowly. If that's the case, don't blame me for being cruel. For the battle, the sword has no eyes. If it hurts your delicate skin and tender flesh, I won't compensate you. Li Zi also said. I'll give you these words as they are. Mu Yingying also let out a coquettish anger before entering the battle. Let me do this, Zillian. Xiao Yu was also the first to speak, and then she no longer hesitated, and went to the place where the Zillian was in the hall. Seeing this, Zilian also said, I didn't expect that we were still selected, but it's good, it saves a lot of trouble. After Zilian finished speaking, he also entered the battle, because he felt an extremely terrifying fluctuation from Xiao Yi. 10 of you, come on. Among the named disciples, the 10 4-star Do Emperor consummate powerhouses were also eager to try, and then left facing Xiao Yang where they were. Leave it to us. Mu Feng and LVDI also spoke at the same time. Well, I'll help you with the rest. You can deal with these people with confidence. Xiao Yang also smiled, then looked at the remaining named disciples who had the late stage of the 4-star Do Emperor or the consummation of the 4-star Do Emperor. The corner of his mouth also smiled. These little guys are really good. It's called a challenge, but it's actually to test your teamwork. Mu Shuzi also said secretly. Obviously, these people gave him the feeling that they were all excellent seedlings. At this time, the main hall was already caught in a scuffle. In one place, Mu Yingying dealt with the most powerful being among the named disciples, Li Zi. One is Xiao Yi's role in dealing with the last 5-star Do Emperor's initial strength. Although Xiao Yi's current strength was deliberately suppressed by Xiao Yan, the 4-star Do Emperor was consummated, but she was still able to win when dealing with people in the early stage of the 5-star Do Emperor. It's a matter of time. Also, Green Flute and Mu Feng jointly deal with the 10 powerful 4-star Do Di perfection level powerhouses. As for the rest, they set their sights on Xiao Yan. Since you've picked it up, let's make a quick decision. Li Zi also said slowly, and then his aura also soared. When the people around heard the words, they also nodded, and then Zi Lian and the 10 4-star Do Emperor perfection level powerhouses all looked at the few people in front of them. They are also very clear. In order to obtain the status of the Fenxiang Pavilion's named disciples, no one knows more than them how much suffering they suffered and how much blood they shed. At the same time, these named disciples are also clear that the one who can participate in the points plundering competition is undoubtedly a genius from a certain side of their Xianling continent. These named disciples have mediocre talents. If they want to join such a super sect, they can only make a certain contribution to it, and then obtain the status of this named disciple, thus challenging these real disciples. Once they succeed in the challenge, then they will also drop the title of named disciples and become real disciples of Fenxiang Pavilion. Therefore, these named disciples are also extremely looking forward to this battle. Humph! Brothers, success or failure is here. Zi Lian also said slowly, and then his eyes shifted to Xiao Yi. He smelled a rather terrifying aura from Xiao Yi, so he didn't dare to be distracted. The 10 remaining 4-star Do Di consummate named disciples also slowly surrounded Mu Feng and Lu Di. Mu Feng and Green Flute are not fuel-efficient lamps, and they really exude a grudge. As for Xiao Yang, he stood quietly at the back, watching the remaining named disciples, but a scroll slowly appeared in the palm of his hand, and then the terrifying spiritual power also slowly emerged. Xiao Yang is also always prepared. Once the remaining named disciples launch an attack, or the 3 battles in the hall change, they will attack immediately. The mental power in this kid. And the scroll in the palm of your hand. Could it be that this kid is a battle formation master? The old man above the main hall also changed his lazy gaze, and then stared at Xiao Yang in surprise. It's been a long time since these named disciples defeated my disciples from Fenxiang Pavilion. I don't know if it will be this time. Mu Shuzi also smiled slowly, and then stared at several battles in the hall. As the deputy hall master, he must also take full responsibility for these people, so he is also don't dare to relax. A war is about to break out. Although you are a woman, I will not show mercy. Look at the move. Li Zi also laughed loudly, and then his figure moved instantly. Let the horses come here. Mu Yingying also snorted softly, and then the blue flames instantly attached to the surface of her body, and her beautiful eyes were always watching Li Zi's every move. Li Zi moved instantly, then clenched his fists tightly, and a khaki yellow fighting chi appeared on his palms. Earth property. This Li Zi is actually an Earth-type fighting chi. When Mu Yingying saw the khaki yellow fighting chi on Li Zi's body, she also discovered Li Zi's fighting chi for the first time. The attributes of Do Chi are basically divided into 5 categories: gold, wood, water, fire, and soil, and some other attributes are born on this basis. It was too late for Mu Yingying to think, because she also knew that even though her own flame power was extremely terrifying, Li Zi's strength was undoubtedly much stronger than hers. Therefore, Mu Yingying also moved her beautiful eyes slightly. Apparently she had some way to do it. The next moment Li Zi's attack came to Mu Yingying's side, and it was about to hit Mu Yingying in the blink of an eye. The surrounding registered disciples are also quite painful. If such a terrifying punch hits this flower-like jade like Mu Yingying, then the consequences are also. Immediately, they turned their eyes away and did not dare to look directly, because they did not want to watch this rather ***** scene. After image. Li Zi also hit with a punch, but it was only a soft thing. Take me a move. Mu Yingying also let out a coquettish anger, and then attacked Li Zi, who was a little puzzled. The blue flames surrounded the jade hand, and then Mu Yingying waved viciously, and suddenly a terrifying flame palm print attacked Mu Yingying. Facing Mu Yingying's terrifying azure flame palm print, Li Zi did not dare to be careless, and immediately urged the fighting qi in her body to form a fighting qi barrier in front of her, trying to reach Mu Yingying's attack. Li Zi's Do Qi is of the earth attribute, so in terms of defense, even Mu Yingying can't match him, and Li Zi's strength is stronger than Mu Yingying's, so even if Mu Yingying's attack hits Li Zi, it is estimated that most of the power will be reached by Li Zi's defense, and the damage caused is minimal. Cough, cough. Li Zi coughed violently after resisting the palm print of Mu Yingying's azure flame. Obviously, although Mu Yingying's strength surpassed that of a 4-star Do Emperor, the flame was quite strong. Eccentric. I had already blocked the azure flame palm print just now, so why did some of them still enter my body? The azure flame that entered his body, in addition to a terrifying destructive power, seemed to carry a huge aura of purity. It seems that his originally irritable heart has calmed down. The flame on this woman is really not simple. Looks like you have to be careful. After Li Zi finished speaking he was also fighting with Mu Yingying, but the two of them were also constantly testing and did not make a killing move. On the other side, the battle between Xiao Yi and Zi Lian is also in full swing. Zi Lian had a weak figure, and then quietly took out a feather fan, which was also full of vindictiveness, and then fiercely attacked with Xiao Yi. Look! Zi Lian snorted coldly, then raised the feather fan in his hand gently, and swung it towards where Xiao Yi was. Suddenly, a terrifying strong wind emanated from the feather fan, and then attacked Xiao Yi. Go! With such terrifying fluctuations as Zi Lian, even an ordinary 4-star Do D perfection level powerhouse would not dare to take it hard. Pretend to be a ghost? Xiao Yi also snorted coldly, then stared at the strong wind that was attacking. Just when the strong wind was about to attack Xiao Yi's pupils scrambled tightly, and then the terrifying strong wind was dissolved out of thin air. Damn it! This person is the most terrifying of the 5. Zi Lian also understood at this time that this handsome man named Xiao Yi seemed to be the most terrifying existence among the 5. Does a 5-star Do D strong person have this ability? Xiao Yi also said very impatiently, and then her eyes showed some contempt. Damn boy, don't be mad. Zi Lian heard that, her eyes were dazed with anger. Even an ordinary 4-star Do D perfection level powerhouse didn't dare to take the attack just now. He didn't expect this Xiao Yi to break his attack so easily, which surprised Zi Lian. At this moment, Zi Lian held the feather fan in his hand, and he couldn't think of a good way for a while, so he had to keep dealing with Xiao Yi, and then looked at the battle in the other 2 places, trying to delay time. Once Li Zi on his side or other people free their hands, then this kid can't make too much waves. In another place, 10 named disciples surrounded Mu Feng and LVDI, not giving them any way out. How is it, are you afraid? Mu Feng also said slowly to the green flute beside him. Mu Feng and LVDI were both powerful in the late stage of the 4-star Do D, so it was quite difficult for them to deal with these 10 people. Force it. But don't drop the chain. Green Flute also smiled quietly, and then without hesitation, the green grudge filled the air instantly. This grudge is poisonous. Everyone, be careful. There are also some sharp-eyed people among the 10 named disciples. Just seeing the green grudge on the green flute, they knew that this woman is not a fuel-efficient lamp. Let the horses come here. Mu Feng also stimulated the fighting qi in his body, forming a dark blue fighting qi, and then the wooden sword in his hand slowly appeared, watching the 10 named disciples vigilantly. After all, these 10 named disciples were at the 4-star Do D consummation level, but Mu Feng did not dare to be careless, otherwise it would easily capsize in the gutter. Hee, what an interesting little guy. This green grudge seems a bit like the atmosphere of the Medusa family outside the Xianling royal family. It seems that this girl's status in the Medusa family is not low. Why does this kid's dark blue vindictive aura resemble that of a ghost junior brother? I heard that junior brother Gui accepted an apprentice before, could it be this kid? The old man above the hall also said slowly, but no one noticed. Go? The 10 named disciples also said slowly, and the next moment, Do Qi instantly emerged from their bodies, and the 10 Do Qi converged into a larger beam of light, with an overwhelming terrifying aura, moving towards Lu Di and Mu Feng. Attack away. The green flute was muttering something, and then Mu Feng also saw some tiny snakes appearing out of thin air around the green flute, but Mu Feng also felt an extremely terrifying aura from these tiny snakes on the green flute. Obviously, the origins of these little snakes are quite extraordinary. Good job. Seeing this, Mu Feng did not retreat, because he also knew that the battle space in this hall was extremely limited. At this time, the green flute was obviously using some fighting skills, so Mu Feng would definitely not retreat easily, and despite the combined efforts of these 10 named disciples, Mu Feng is also not afraid of it. The wooden sword in his hand glowed with a dark blue light, and then he attacked the beam of fighting chi that the 10 people joined together to attack. The dark blue light of Mu Feng and the combined beam of light of the 10 named disciples just touched each other, and a dazzling spark occurred. Obviously, the collision was also extremely intense. The next moment, Mu Feng laughed, and with Mu Feng's smile, the dark blue sword light that was confronting the 10 named disciples in front of him also shattered instantly, and then the terrifying beam of light was about to attack Mu Feng in the next moment. Maple and green flute. Go! At this critical moment of life and death, Lu Di also completed the fighting skills in her hands, and a small snake appeared on her body. The 3 little snakes of different colors rose out of thin air, and then went away to the terrifying beam of light in front of them. Humph! Seeking a dead end. The 10 named disciples also increased their Do Chi injection, and the volume of the dazzling beam of light also swelled, and they collided with green flute's little snake in a blink of an eye. The 3 little snakes made a small voice, and then an extremely terrifying force also emanated from the 3 little snakes, and the dazzling beam of light attacked viciously together. Bang bang bang. Just after the dazzling beam of light collided with the power of the 3 little snakes, those present were shocked to discover that the dazzling beam of light that was originally unstoppable was melting at a speed visible to the naked eye. Damn it! This snake has a strong corrosive power. Among the 10 named disciples, they also discovered that the 3 little snakes were different, and then the combined force also collapsed. What kind of fighting skill are you? You are so strong. Mu Feng, who was beside him, also muttered, obviously very curious. The terrifying terror just now was a joint attack of 10 4-star Do Emperors at the perfect level. Even if they didn't do their best, the power generated by the joint force was extremely terrifying, and it was unexpected that these 3 little snakes could easily resolve it. This is my secret. Green Flute also smiled and did not answer Mu Feng's question. Little flower. Go bite them. Green Flute opened her lips slightly, and then there was some smile in her voice. Sissisai. The 3 red, white and green snakes also heard the sound of the green flute, and then responded with effort. The next moment, the 3 little snakes also attacked the 10 named disciples. Damn it! You mustn't let these 3 little snakes touch, otherwise you will be in big trouble. The 10 named disciples also knew it, so they tried their best to dodge. Seeing this, Mu Feng also worked hard to cooperate with Green Flute, and then kept dealing with them. This woman named Green Flute has a somewhat complicated background. If I remember correctly, these 3 little snakes are the treasures of the Medusa royal family. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly in his heart, although Xiao Yan also noticed the difference in the Green Flute, he didn't go here either. Think about it. Trash. What a bunch of trash. Li Zi on the side also said angrily. I was fighting against Mu Yingying. Although the azure flame energy on Mu Yingying's body was extremely terrifying, but fortunately, relying on her earth-type fighting spirit, she also greatly defended against Mu Yingying's attack, but Li Zi was the most powerful. Surprised Tilda is still this Mu Yingying. He is a powerhouse, and even in the early stage of the 5-star Do Di, it is difficult to find an opponent, but for some reason, every time his terrifying attack hits Mu Yingying, it feels like hitting a sponge. So Li Zi is also very helpless. Moreover, Li Zi thought at first that he would be able to solve the battle quickly, and then deal with this Mu Yingying, and went to help the other 2 places. At that time, they also won a big victory, and joining the Fenxiang Pavilion was also a matter of hand. What Li Zi didn't expect was that this Mu Yingying was so difficult to deal with, and their 10 4-star Do Emperor perfection level powerhouses were chased around by 2 people. What a system this is! Those are 10 4-star Do Emperor perfection level powerhouses. Their opponents are just 2 late-stage 4-star Do Di people. This is what makes Li Zi the most angry. But this Li Zi has really wronged the 10 4-star Do Emperors who had completed their perfection. Because the green flute carries the blood of the royal family of the Medusa family, and its strength is extremely terrifying, the strength of the 4-star Do Emperor in the late stage, and her rare 3 little snakes, are enough to deal with the 5-star Do Emperor powerhouse. The perfect powerhouse of the Star Do Emperor is not easy and pleasant to capture. It seems that this competition will also be decided. Xiao Yan also looked at several battles in the arena with satisfaction, but Xiao Yan also noticed that there was a fiery anger in the eyes of the other named disciples. This video will end here.